Okay, so this is video from a few years ago. I was working with this fearful mini mule, and I'm starting him out the same way that I start out most of the fearful animals that I work with. This is kind of a modified version of treat and retreat. Now the criteria for this little mule right now is just to look at me. So when he looks at me, I'm marking that behavior. I'm putting a handful of alfalfa pellets in a bucket and putting the bucket down for him to come and eat. So this is positive reinforcement. There are some elements of negative reinforcement in this also. When I put the alfalfa pellets in the bucket and I put the bucket down, I then walk away from the bucket. So essentially I'm walking away from the mule as well, creating space, and this is also reinforcing for him. So you'll see here once again, he's going to look at me. I'm marking that behavior, putting the food in the bucket and putting the bucket down. And I walk away so that he can comfortably go over and eat the food. The reason why I'm walking away is because he is not able to come up to me to get reinforcement. He can't eat out of my hand. He can't eat out of a bucket out of my hand. He's too fearful. So the reinforcement has to be done from a distance. Now you'll see as we progress that he starts to get closer on his own. So he's actually reducing the distance between us on his own. This is behavior that he is offering, and I am just taking advantage of that, capturing it, and marking that behavior and reinforcing him. So you can see that we already have some change in the behavior where I don't have to walk as far away from the bucket and he's still coming up to eat. He's coming closer to me and he is not waiting for me to leave completely before he goes to the bucket and eats. So this becomes kind of a bit of a balancing act where I have to be able to give him a chance to offer a little bit more behavior, but not ask for too much and have him give up. So if you're trying to do this with your animal and you're struggling and finding that you're not progressing, it may be because you're waiting too long and expecting more from the animal than they're able to give. So it's kind of a balancing act. You have to find that happy medium, that sweet spot of asking for just enough that they can give you and not asking for too much. So here we've already moved on to targeting. He is coming close enough to me now that I am holding out my hand for him to target. Now, of course, I don't expect him to walk up and touch my hand. That's too much for him to do. So I'm still just taking what he can offer, which is basically to kind of reach out his nose and sniff at my hand and maybe take a step towards me.